Welcome back to Timeless Messages from the I Ching. This is Stephen. Thanks for tuning in. So the question I've asked today is, what can humanity expect in 2023? What can humanity expect in 2023? And the hexagram that came through is Preponderance of the Great, number 28. Preponderance of the Great, with the joyous lake on the top trigram, Tui, that's the youngest sister, youngest daughter, and the lower trigram is Sun, that's the eldest daughter. So let's find out what this means. What can humanity expect from 2023? This hexagram consists of 4 strong lines inside and 2 weak lines outside. If you notice, there's 2 yin lines at the top and bottom and 4 yang lines in the center. When the strong lines are outside and the weak inside, all is well, and there is nothing out of balance, nothing extraordinary in the situation. Here, however, the opposite is the case. This hexagram represents a beam that is thick and heavy in the middle, but too weak at the ends. This is a condition that cannot last. It must be changed, must pass, or misfortune will result. The judgment, preponderance of the great. The ridgepole sags to the breaking point. It furthers one to have somewhere to go. Success. The weight of the great is excessive, too much. The load is too heavy for the strength of the supports. The ridgepole on which the roof rests sags to the breaking point because its supporting ends are too weak for the load they bear. This is an exceptional time and situation. Therefore, extraordinary measures are demanded. It's necessary to find a way of transition as quickly as possible and to take action. This promises success, for although the strong element is in the majority and is in excess, the 4 yang lines in the center, that is, those yang lines are in the middle, at the center of gravity, so that a revolution is not to be feared. Nothing is to be achieved by forcible measures. The problem must be solved by gentle penetration to the meaning of the situation, as is suggested by the attribute of the inner trigram, Sun. Then the changeover to other conditions will be successful. It demands real superiority. Therefore, the time when the great preponderates, or the great is in the majority or carries the most amount of weight, is a momentous time. The image. The lake rises above the trees. The image of preponderance of the great. Thus, the superior man, when he stands alone, is unconcerned, and if he has to renounce the world, he is undaunted, untroubled. So, I want to read this again, and instead of using he, we'll use he and she or they. So the image is the lake rises above the trees. So here we have flooding. The image of excessive, the preponderance or the majority of the great. Thus the superior person, man or woman, when this person stands alone, is not concerned. And if this person has to renounce the world, this person is undaunted, untroubled, not anxious. Extraordinary times when the great preponderates are like flood times, when the lake rises over the trees. But such conditions are temporary. The 2 trigrams indicate the attitude that's proper to such exceptional times. The symbol of the trigram Sun is the tree, which stands firm even though it stands alone. And the attribute of Tui is joyousness, which remains undaunted and untroubled, even if it must renounce the world. So this is a pretty interesting idea of preponderance of the grade. Here we have an image of a ridgepole that supports a roof, but the exterior points are too weak to hold the weight of this pole, and the roof begins to sag. And this talks about because the beam is too thick and heavy in the middle. So this paints a condition or a time when situations are at an extreme point, a lot of need for change. And it's important to find a change soon, because this condition must be changed, it must pass, or misfortune will be the result. So in terms of humanity in 2023, it sounds as though we've got our work cut out for ourselves, because we're dealing with something or a number of things that are completely out of balance. So it's an exceptional time, and extraordinary measures are called for. And it's very important to find a way of transitioning out of this as quickly as possible, and to take action. And this promises success. Even though the strong element is in excess, it's in the middle, at the center of gravity. Therefore, a revolution is not to be feared. And it would seem that there are a lot of social revolutions occurring on many different levels. There's a war between Ukraine and Russia that's been going on almost a year now, since last February 2022. And there's a lot of rioting and discord in Iran because of a lot of oppression. And there's a lot of discord in Haiti because of pirates trying to take over that particular island country. And there's all sorts of difficulties that are surfacing, and people are experiencing the difficulties of these extraordinary times. So there are hints that in order to find the right means of action, nothing is to be achieved by force. So we have to bear this in mind quite clearly when we're considering alternatives and actions to take. It's not through force that we will gain the most amount of success and improvement, but rather through gentleness. Talks about gentle penetration to the situation, the meaning of the situation. Just like the wind penetrating through all areas of the space and air, flowing everywhere, so too when we go within and seek guidance in terms of how we can move forward in our own personal lives as well as collectively in our human experience. Gentleness and taking time to have many contemplation moments, 2 or 3 minutes, drawing the breath in and out through the nose, or in the nose and out through the mouth, relaxing the muscles, paying attention to any type of insights that may come through personally or more globally, and seeing how you might be able to incorporate these altruistic and benevolent concepts into your life and into your interactions with others. This type of act of 2 to 3 minutes of meditation, of course you can go longer, but 2 to 3 minutes is very attainable for most people, and more than likely they can do 2 or 3 minutes more than once a day, perhaps 2 or 3 times a day. Even if you're in the bathroom, taking some time for yourself, meditating for 2 minutes as you relax, this is a good process. Meditating, you could meditate while you're taking a bath or even taking a shower. You can close your eyes and breathe and pay attention to the insights and wisdom that this contemplative time will help to bring to your conscious mind. So essentially you're creating a bridge between your unconscious mind, your divine inner light, and your conscious mind. And as you do these many contemplative times and meditation times, you'll find that that bridge between the unconscious mind and your conscious awareness, your conscious mind, becomes stronger, and therefore information that's beneficial can transfer over across this bridge more easily and help you and help others. So change over to other conditions will be successful, especially if it's done not by forcible means, but rather by gentleness and by self-reflection and choosing the best, most altruistic and benevolent way of speaking, acting, thinking, and so forth. This is a momentous time, preponderance of the great. And it does talk about the idea of flooding in terms of a lake rising above the trees. So that's the image of describing what this type of difficult and momentous time is, like a flood going above the trees, quite significant. But it also states that these conditions are temporary. We have to keep that in mind. This is not a lasting situation that we may be going through. We simply have to endure and get through this situation as beneficially and as unscathed as possible, and not hurting others in the process if that's at all possible. The two trigrams indicate the proper attitude in such an exceptional time as is painted by this archetype of preponderance of the great. The top trigram is Tui, and Tui is undisturbed even if it has to walk away from the world or renounce the world. So you may find that you have to step back a little bit and pay more attention to your own world and not get too attached and caught up with what's going on in the exterior world, just for your own peace and harmony. And this can be a good thing. So even if Tui, the joyous lake, has to renounce the world, it's not troubled by this fact, and it retains its sense of joyousness. So very important for us to retain that inner joy, if at all possible. That's another hint. Gentleness, introspective time, and retaining that joyfulness. So the bottom trigram is a symbol, sun is a symbol of a tree. And a tree will stand strong and firm even if it stands alone in a field. It's not disturbed if it has to be alone. It takes no concern for that. So it stands strong and firm, this tree, even though it stands alone. So here, this idea of more time spent alone could be relevant to some people that are listening to this. That may be a very important thing, or it may just be a time in the life of the person that is temporary, not forever, of course, but it may be a time of more solitary time. For if you have to renounce the world, you'll still be strong and you'll still stand firm. You're not going to be troubled by the fact that you have to be on your own and stand alone. And if you have to renounce the world, as in Tui, you are undisturbed and you retain your joyousness. So retaining your strength even though you might be standing alone, and retaining your joyousness even if you have to renounce the world. Key ideas here, as are gentleness and not using force through your words, actions, and through your thoughts. Going with the flow, taking time to get in touch with that inner wisdom, little bursts of contemplation, 1, 2, or 3 times a day. So I hope these ideas will help all of us through 2023, and it may be wise to reflect upon these and listen to this reading once more and write down the most important ideas that are touched upon, and see if you can begin to incorporate these into your daily life and into your interactions with others. So, if you're interested in a personal reading Information for those is in the description box. And like always, thanks for tuning in and take care.